Hi guys, I want to try to help you out with the error correction on a bank reconciliation statement. There were a couple of test items that presented errors, and I wanted to give you a little rundown. So I just kind of typed this little thing up for you. Now, anybody can make errors. They're more commonly made by the bookkeeper on the book side of things, but they can also be made by the bank. Now, you know that a reconciliation is in two parts. There's a balance per bank side and there's a balance per book side. So right out of the gate, if you find an error that was made by the company, the bookkeeper, our company, John Doe Company, okay? If the error was made by the company bookkeeper, the correction is going to go on the book side of the reconciliation. As we note here, errors can be made by the company, so the correction will always be either an addition or a subtraction on the balance per books side of the reconciliation. I'm giving you a couple of examples. Of course, there could be plenty others, but you have to take each one and do a little critical thinking in terms of how to get the error corrected. So what I'm telling you here is you guys wrote out a check. You're trying to pay somebody. You wrote the check out correctly for $54. So you write the check out for $54, you pay it to the payee cashes the check, and your bank pays the $54. So you're down on your bank side for $54, and that's correct. However, our bookkeeper recorded the check as a $45 deduction. Okay? So we did not deduct enough money from our cash account. Therefore, it is necessary to take the $9 difference, that's a transposition error, okay, a $9 transposition error, so that we did not subtract enough money from our account. Obviously, the correct subtraction should have been $54, but we only subtracted $45. So how do we fix that? Well, we got to subtract another $9. So on the book side of the reconciliation, you're going to have deduct, error in recording, check, so and so and so, another $9. Now, after you subtract that $9, think about what to reconcile means. It means to bring the parties together in terms of having them both on the same page for the same amount of deduction. So the bank had 54. By you subtracting another 9, you will have subtracted a total of 54. Okay? So obviously, if you're going to subtract from your book side, that's going to result in a journal entry that will credit to reduce the cash account. Okay? Second example is that I'll throw a deposit in here. And the deposit, we actually counted up the money, today, the day's register receipts. We got $2,300 in our pocket, okay, ready to take to the bank. So we took it to the bank. We made the deposit. The bank credited our account. Okay, when the bank gets money from us, they credit our account for $2,300. But we screwed up when we recorded our debit to cash for the day's receipts. Somehow they made an error and recorded only $2,200. But you know, you had the cash, you have the physical $2,300, your money in the bank, but it's on your books for only $22. So common sense would say you got to add another $100 to your cash balance on the book side of the reconciliation. As you can see, how do you get rid of this damn thing? But anyway, as you can see, you now have $2,300 after adding the 100 that you didn't add in the 22. So 22 and another 100 equals 23. Both parties are in agreement. The situation is, quote, reconciled. Okay? Now, let's take a couple of bank screw-ups. Errors can be made by the bank. Again, as I said initially, the correction is made on the side of the reconciliation according to who made the error. So if the bank screws up, they make an error, the correction is on the bank side of the reconciliation. First example, we actually wrote out a $100 check, our check, in payment to someone for a bill, electric bill, whatever. Okay? The bank, they only subtracted $10. They screwed up. They made an error, what they call a slide error. Okay? They misplaced a decimal in a number. Okay? So how'd they mess up? Well, they only subtracted $10. And we find it. Okay, eventually it would get back to them, but they got to subtract another $90 in order to bring their activity into agreement with our activity, which was the correct activity. Because it was our check, we recorded the cash payment for $100. We credited cash on our books for $100. The bank only debited our account. Yes, they debited our account to reduce our account, only for $10. So they need to subtract another $90 from their balance, okay? And you don't have to do anything with the books. Your books are correct. That's why we're correcting on the bank side. All right. Now, after having our $100 recorded on our books correctly, the bank, when they correct this error, will have a total of $100 in deduction. So we'll be on a par. We have reconciled the difference between what the bank did and what we did. That's the name of the game in a reconciliation. Always do to the other guy what the first guy did. Bank charge, another example I'm giving you. What they did is they messed up again by charging our account for another company's check, maybe at a similar account number, a similar name, or whatever. But anyway, it doesn't matter the amount. If they, let's say, they nailed us for $1,000, a check. You know, we're a ABC company, and they charged us out of the blue with XYZ company's check, so that there's a deduction by the bank that shouldn't be there. All right. So, I mean, come on, don't mess around, bank. What should they be doing? Well, you're going to be calling them and say, hey, what's going on, chief? You better add back that $1,000 to my account on your books, on your bank books, okay? So that way there, I mean, you never paid a check. Therefore, you've got no deduction for somebody else's check. Okay, but the bank deducted from your account $1,000 or whatever the amount is. So you know, you just pick up that phone and go to town and have them add that back. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so you got to take each reconciling item, each error on its own merit, examine the error. I can't say these are the only possible examples, but they certainly will give you an idea of how to reason through the process, making sure at the end of the day that both parties, okay, have the correct transaction recorded. Whether it's a receipt or a payment, both sets of books have to be in agreement for the correct amount. Now you're going to need this to help you study for the test, because the textbook doesn't give you very good examples, in my opinion. But I think this is valuable, and there are, I think, 2 or 3 test items that relate to corrections, and away we go. All right, 9 minutes and 20. All right, okay. Use it or lose it, kids. Thank you.